Hi, this is the GoLocalStaff version 3. My name is Aileen Gonzalez. I'm the only team member. The product owner is Eduardo Garcia. The problem to solve with this web page is that event organizers over rely on staffing agencies in order to find and manage the required staff to host events. This is the difficult and resource-intense process which raises some issues like high overhead costs, and since application process is lengthy for staff, limited number of required staff to agencies, and process has to be during agencies' business hours. The requirements are staff registration, the staff profile information setup, staff resume posting, event organizer login and logout, event organizer search for staff by criteria, an event organizer views staff contact information. Those are the user stories that I implemented. For the first use case, there is the staff registration. As a user, and the user need to be able to create an account so the user can use the GoLocal staff services. The actor is the staff, and for the precondition, the user is on the registration page. The use case begins when the user clicks on the sign up button. The user proceeds to enter his or her credentials in the form fields. The user clicks on the submit button to submit his or her information, and the use case ends when the system notifies the user that the new account was created. This is the sequence diagram for the staff registration. When the staff user sends the information to the sign-up page, and the sign-up controller saves the data into the database, then it redirects to the required info page. The users enter the information, and the required info controller saves the data into the database. Then it redirects to the additional info page, and the additional info controller saves the data into the database. The second use case is the database query page. The database query page is needed for the administrator to search for the staff registered in the GoLocalStaff services. The precondition is that there is 6 registered staff in the database. The use case begins when the administrator enters his username and password to log in. The administrator fills the criteria fields and press enter, and the use case ends when the system displays a page with all the registered staff that satisfy the criteria. This is the sequence diagram for the database query page. The index is the login page. The users enter the username, password. The section starts. It redirects to the search page when the user enters the data, and the data is displayed. If there is data, if no data satisfies the criteria, the search page notifies the user. When the user logs out, it redirects to the index page, so the user can log in again. This is the system design for the web page. It's an MVC pattern. When the user interacts with the UI views, the UI views with the controllers with the models, and the models with the database. This is the system design, system deployment. There is a web server that contains the website, and there is a database server with my SQL database, and display the user client with the browser and the HTML file. For security and privacy, we have password hashing, data validation, access control rules, and secure registration process. This is the class diagram for the registration page and the class diagram for the database query page. This test was for the staff registration. The purpose is to enable the user to create the staff account. Precondition: the user is connected to the internet and user is at the registration page. The user fills out the registration page by entering the required information, and the expected output is that the user receives a notification that the account was created. For the Brainy Test, the purpose is to prevent user from entering malicious input when created the account. The same preconditions, and this time the user fills out the registration page by entering malicious input. The expected output is that the page warns user of his or her inputs and allow him to re-enter the information. It's the Sony test for the database query page. The purpose is to enable users to log in this case the administrator. The administrator enters username password and the system displays the search page. And the Brainy test is again to enable the user to log in, but this time the user enters invalid username password and the system displays a message to the user notifying that the username or password is invalid. Now I'm going to do a brief demo. This is the registration page where the user can enter an email and password, and here enters personal information, a picture. This information is not required, it's additional information, and click submit. So the account is created. And this is for the administrator to search for staff into the database. You can fill this criteria, but in this case we're not filling the criteria to see all the data into the database. These are all the staff with the email, phone number, names that are registered into the GoLocalStaff services. And the administrator can log out.